Good evening and welcome to Edessa, the Dark Crusade, Season 2. Within the Court of Stars, several people tonight have brought their candles and let in without too much fuss. One of these arrived just a couple of minutes ago, wearing her hood and her dark clothing, not too fancy, not flashy at all, really. Just fairly common, but of course, Sister Madeline is anything but common looking when she takes off her hood when she's inside, smiles to the people she knows, and just smiles and sits down. And, yeah, she doesn't really seem to be looking for anyone in particular. Well, not right away. She mostly just sits and just relaxes for some time on the pillows and just she would just have maybe a minute conversation with someone, but she will sit by herself and just sit, wait, see if anyone comes.
She sat there a while and thought doesn't come early on, but after some time, he will make his way into the room and hand over his candle to the doorman. He looks around, nodding to anyone that may pass. But it seems quiet tonight, and when he sees Madeline sat there by herself, he smiles. He makes his way over and sits down on the cushions next to her.
I do not believe there is any way to make a night better than good company.
Quite so. He almost sort of lays there. He doesn't quite lay down, but he just seems to lay much more comfortably than he had done during the previous nights.
Hmm. Madeline just still sits up, but she does look over to him with a smile. She says, "So, are your chores done for the night?"
They are.
This is good.
I passed by, I didn't see your candle in the window, so I thought I might find you here.
Hmm. Well, certain women might be taken aback, frightened with a rough man, keeping an eye on their windows.
Yes. Certain women of good moral standing, perhaps.
Quite so. She smiles and just lies down as well, puts her head in on his stomach.
I've just come back from the wilds, speaking to Erdin.
Hmm.
He's concerned. There's been evidence of werewolf activity. More so.
Hmm. It is something problematic.
The main point of concern, though, is the city of Fjorda, a walled city, I hear, plans to move and attack Edessa.
Mm.
I'm telling you this because I will probably be spending a few days traveling there soon.
She moves a little in reaction to that, but not much. She still lies down. And what exactly do you hope to gain? To
I want to see what's going on, see if anything can be halted.
is it the, do we know anything of whether it is certain elements in the city or the city as a whole?
I think some clans may be ignored, but I'm not too sure on the details just yet. I don't really know what these people want. That's what I'm going to try and find out.
Access, more access to the trade routes, more territory, more prestige, the usual. You intend to go with Erdin?
Yes.
And what if I told you that I did not want you to?
Why?
They are planning to attack us. They, I suppose, two gangrel can maneuver well enough. If you intend to go, might I at least hear of what you and Erdin plan to do?
Nothing much. Just sit and watch and listen.
Hmm.
I know you're
You have
worried
to,
about me.
you have to promise me that you will not do anything reckless, stupid, and especially that you will not get yourself seriously injured.
I will take every precaution.
Good. I will not tell you what you can and can't do. I merely wish to emphasize the dangerous situation that you yourself have put up. Aggression will come, you say, from their city, and yet you wish to travel, and you wish to see the city cross.
It's clan business. I won't let my kinsman go alone.
I understand.
I'll be safe. Don't worry.
Like I said, the two of us, we do not tell each other what to do. I do not tell you what you should do.
Well, the devil himself couldn't keep me from you, so you have nothing to worry about.
Of that I am quite certain. But at least know that I will be praying for your safe return.
The second thing I have to tell you, I know you're not going to like. I'm going to be meeting with the Zamisi.
Madeline just, there isn't a reaction. Can't feel anything. Just says, and why would I have any trouble with this?
You've expressed your
Well,
discomfort with them before.
no, I haven't. She puts a hand on your face and just turns it. She looks fairly serious at you. Who have told you such nonsense?
He
I
shakes
have
his
the
head.
utmost respect for this noble and highest of minds.
I was considering, again, I'm not going to be going alone. There's rumours that you remember Julia.
I do.
She's disappeared somewhat into their mist, and I want to find out what's going on. Maybe you could come with me then.
Of course.
I was going to ask Margot, but I'd rather have you along.
There's a bit of hesitation, but Madeline's powering through it. She tries her very damnedest to seem unfeathered or unmoved by it. She just says, "Of course. Name the night, and the two of us shall visit this. Do you not think perhaps if the topic of Julia comes up, the fact that we were both so very closely involved, that it might actually be..." She whispers this, as they are in a somewhat public place. "Perhaps if you wish information about your bandmate, perhaps taking Margot might, as a sense of negotiation, be a more neutral party in this. It
Yeah,
might be a better way for her to, on her own, bring up this conundrum. And she is also premature.
you're right.
It is merely a suggestion. If I were to start, well, asking my me and her were involved at some point, this might be considered a problem, or at least they might not be as forthcoming as with Margot, for instance.
You're right, of course. I feel more self-assured with you around, but Margot's the better political option.
Well, I can be close enough.
He
Hmm.
just nods.
Suppose I am always fairly close to you. She puts a hand on his chest, indicating to his heart. She just says, "Also consider, you are stronger than most kindred Cainites in this city. You do not need me by your side to be formidable."
I do not fear the Zamisi. It's more an ease of sociality. You are wiser than Margot, more intelligent. He whispers this because they're in a
Hmm.
torrid place right now.
You'll notice, like, the smile just get a bit wider, and like her eyes just her eyes are closed at the moment, but you see that she's also smiling a bit more with her eyes when she said, Mm.
It's why Margot would never be able to hold me for longer than a few hours.
Mm. Well, I have not had the pleasure of her company in that sense. Well, I suppose there was this one time, but
Someone raises his eyebrows at that. He's just like, what?
when we bathed
Really?
together with a couple of people, it was pleasant enough, but I have not seen what her company in a bed, the two of us are like. Mm.
She's a spirited woman, good natured and brave. I have no bad words to say about her. But
Well, except she engaged in a pact with him. But other than
he
that,
he does the thing with like he just throws his head back and like I know.
but I understand your meaning. Perhaps he is just more innocent than most. Innocence has a price as well.
Maybe my thirst is for the darkness, and so I find myself.
One cannot be faulted for one's tastes. Or I very much hope not, at least.
I'll discuss it with her at some point when I see her. Our meetings are more difficult when many of the Toreador don't approve of me hanging around in their places.
Many La Sombra does not like the fact that you hang with me. You are at my place.
Oh,
Mm, I have heard rumblings, certain things, whispers here and there. But those who whisper should come to me directly, not whisper, simply say that it is unworthy, and then I would tell them why they are wrong.
maybe they are jealous.
Mm, that would indicate that all of them are quite wise. I do not necessarily see this as being the case.
My Primogen is a good friend of our seneschal, and I see our clans as bonded. I don't see what the problem is, but some people are very afflicted with snobbery, I guess.
Hmm, there's no problem. Not that I am aware of.
Just gossip.
Just gossip.
Hewat's eyebrows very rarely leave the ceiling when you, I, and Margot are in the same place.
Mm.
He stroked his shoulders slightly.
Mm. Well, that is true.
Even if every La Sombra from here to Britannia condemned me staying in your place, it would alter my opinion in no sense.
My place, your place. First of all, no one would be able to keep us from each other. And secondly, we do not need my place. We do not need any place. As long as we have each other,
He
we
nods.
will embrace and rest in a house, in the forest, in a field. It does not matter.
In the warehouse, he says playfully, noting the surroundings.
I do believe it was not too long ago and a special occasion. You will have to do quite a lot more work before you can have that uh, particular thing repeat.
He nods.
As you know, that get-up has certain complications attached.
Yes.
But I can see your fascination. Perhaps we should find you a what is it, fourth woman? Fifth?
No. I think I have my hands full enough.
Very well.
Besides, I've learned quite quickly that only one can captivate my attention for very long. Despite my best efforts to fight against it.
A struggle is, well, a struggle, even if you lose, can be very, very powerful in teaching.
Who was the Nosferatu last night? You seemed familiar with him.
Hmm. I met him not too far outside my haven. I discussed my closeness with his family, as well as with yours, as well as with the Malkavian. And I was glad to see him again.
Very glad.
Were you jealous?
No. He laughs a little bit.
That is good.
I was just interested. I hadn't seen him before.
You know my teaching. You know that I take it very serious. Who, just by being embraced, would you say that I've suffered more than Nosferatu?
He nods. That
Those,
curse is very great.
indeed, those who can survive this and thrive have strength even before they were touched by the blood of Cain. And if such strength is in thinking that you should be respected, examined, and preserved if possible. The more it can be preserved, the more it will be able to teach you. And the more you will learn, the stronger you will become in turn.
I have respect for the Nosferatu for different reasons. But respect them nonetheless.
Hmm.
I respect their resourcefulness, their intelligence, their ability to know things that many do not. Knowledge is my greatest seductress. So, I didn't stay long last night, but I had a feeling that Solidrim was just there to ruffle feathers, and I was in no mood for it.
I wonder how long it will take for him to piss off someone who will not be able to contain their temper.
He feels secure because of his rank. He's an Ancilla, and he knows I cannot touch him.
This is true, of course, but hmm, just seems to me that he wishes to cause division as much as possible. But or it could be a solitary man's wish.
I'm not sure what his goal is. Whether he just likes to make people uncomfortable.
Or distract by doing it. But we cannot be certain.
FYI, Nelson, scenes taking place in the Court of Stars.
Speaking of Margot, is that not her there?
Margot will make her way, probably from the crowd that's standing outside that you can see from the doorway. She'll smile, come in with a smile. Ah, Thorvald, Madeline, how good it is to see the both of you.
Currently, Madeline is lying with her head on Thorvald's stomach, who is also lying down.
When Margot comes in, though, he doesn't exactly jump up. But he does sort of slide away to bow to her, stand up and bow to her. She's a primogen after all. Before returning to his seat.
Oh, oh,
So I didn't hear that.
I'll go. I'll go the two of you.
We're doing very well. We were, among other things, talking of you, my primogen.
Ah, good things, I hope.
Quite so. Your good-hearted nature, your striking beauty, among other things.
So sad that the two of you had to leave last night.
Right.
Did we miss much apart from a lot of hot air?
Well, Soladrin, I think, knew what he was doing and decided to be. I shall think. Well, I wouldn't go as far to say obnoxious, but he likes to play his games, which not everyone else agrees to.
For a man of his advanced years, it's not very wise to poke others. There could have been frenzies.
And she'll nod.
Albeit rude to our host.
Extremely so. Trying to come in uninvited is one thing, but in my opinion, trying to anger the host is even worse.
He nods.
He is ascetic. It is quite expected, if not sanctioned, at least, that a serpent here and there should put a little bit of that poison into everyone's refreshment. But tell me, Margot,
Yes.
do I remember correctly? We were simply discussing. Torwald was commending you on hmm, the nature of your companionship. I was wondering, the two of us have never shared each other, have we?
She'll smile.
Thorvald looks like he's like going. He looks to the exit like, oh god, this conversation.
Madeline is fairly matter of fact. She's not.
She'll smile. Not as of yet. I haven't had the pleasure.
That is a shame.
Well, that can always come to a change.
Indeed. It has been some time since I've visited your bathhouse. Perhaps I should lend you a visit in the coming days.
It will be my honor and my pleasure.
Oh, it certainly will. And
She'll
mine
smile.
and mine as well, of course.
Well, if you need anyone to oversee the affair to make sure you aren't disturbed, I'm sure I can offer my services. He says, barely able to keep a straight face.
I do not believe we need your help, do we, Margot?
Well,
She is very, very clearly teasing Torvald.
she'll smile too, also kind of joining in the tease. Well, I do have plenty of men. I do have plenty of other men who can help us.
His face thunders a bit at that. It's
We will have
don't peony it because like it's really obvious. His face does go a bit thunderous.
Well, I suppose we will have to look at that. But, more company it seems. Ah, Arcadia, good to see you again. Please, come, join us.
He bows. Thank you. As he takes a seat. And
Well, welcome, my friend.
good to see you, Sir Turvold.
Please rescue me from the plots of women.
Margot will giggle. Arcadia, how are you this evening?
Better. But I actually, as he looks over to Torvald, I might have something to interest you, Sir Torvald.
Something of do you wish to talk about privately, or are you willing to share it with our company?
I'd like to keep this a private matter.
He stands up. If you'll excuse me for a moment.
And he will walk over with Torvald to another part, and he will bring up, I have finished a particular design to an item that allows others to use some of the powers that would be similar to the ways of Auspex.
Oh?
Yes. I am able to enchant specific types of mirrors to reveal the supernatural.
Intriguing.
It can show off our kind, the lupines, the changelings, and the ones who have able to, and the humans that can access magic in this world.
Very valuable artifact.
Said, I believe I am working on creating. I am working on creating my first piece. I was curious if you might be interested in having one.
I would be interested, yes.
And he nodded to that. And if you wouldn't mind, as I am more than willing to create these items for individuals who seek it, I will need some compensation.
What kind of compensation would you be looking for?
And he just simply looks over to Torvald and simply says, "How much do you think that's worth to you?"
He thinks.
I am aware that the size can vary. As far as I have seen, it can range from that of a hand mirror to that of a full-size mirror, even possibly bigger.
It'd be useful to have a small item to have on my person so that it may be discreet.
Yeah.
Perhaps I could offer you a boon for each of these items I require.
He nods to that.
If that would be acceptable to you.
That will be. Then I can have a mirror bought or made, unless you have something in mind that you may already have on within your possession.
You could make me a small mirror and bring it to me and we can test it out.
He nods at that, of course.
Then I will sign some boons to you.
I'll make sure to bring a proper mirror as soon as possible.
He smiles. Good. I think these items would be very useful.
I think so as well.
Especially with people concealing themselves as they have been of late.
Yeah, and he nods to that. And then he says, "Look, I'm sure the ladies may be curious of our minor disappearance."
He nods and then they'll go back and join them and the player BRBs.
And he'll look over to Peter will look over to Margot. "So, Lady Margot, I am curious. I met Lady was I'm already forgetting her name. Was it We Not or Why Not? Or not Why Not?
You what?
You
You what?
Um, how long has she resided in Edessa?
Interesting. She came. You see, I don't remember. I think she told her. I think it's around 2-3 months now. But yeah, she'll say when she came.
Something like that, but yeah. Pending ST confirmation, I suppose. But it is not that long. That's true.
He nods to that. Well,
She is a very delightful addition to my clan.
So I'm glad that you think so. She seemed to be a rather pleasant person, though I am curious of some of the people she invited and their behavior to her as well.
I'm
I wonder who you're talking of.
just now. I'm guessing you're talking about the Nosferatu that followed you.
Amongst others, yes. Though I do feel that the Nosferatu is unfortunately plagued by the sins of his father and his approach to the situation.
I don't think he'll be any more harm. I think, well, his entrance wasn't a wise one, but I'm sure he has learned.
Oh,
Who else are you concerned about?
I don't wish to speak poorly of him, but his actions were obvious in my opinion. It seems that our sheriff has interest in testing our young neonate.
She'll nod. Yes. We were talking about him earlier. Seems he has a liking to slithering into people's nerves.
I only hope that his statements don't prove to be any disruption to your relationships.
No. He may try all he wants. A rose, even in a rose that has survived harsh weather, will always continue to bloom.
And and again he nods. But
If this happens again, I will make sure that he learns his place.
and there is a surprised look on Kadir's face, because it's a very open statement.
As beautiful as a rose may be, one must be always careful of its thorns.
quite so.
Especially if one's made of iron.
She'll smile at that.
He smiles. He's sat back down. He's still looking a little bit. He's looking between Margot and Madeline with a sort of slightly scrupulous look. But
Madeline doesn't say too much at this point. She's just looking between the people here. Yeah, she is more or less just gonna. She's not leaving, but she is getting up and just making sure of certain things. So this one messenger who is for like delivery of mail, or messages, that you probably send people messages when it has to go really fast. She goes up and talks with one of those to send a message, a letter. But other than that, she's just gotten up now.
there is something I wish to talk to you about, Primogen, when you have the time.
She'll smile. I have time right now if you want to go elsewhere for a few minutes.
Yes, I'm afraid you must excuse me for a moment, Alkadir.
It's only fair.
He'll stand up and just offer to walk beside Margot.
She'll happily go along with that. And once they're a bit out of the way and ears, she'll smile at him. Yes?
I was wondering whether you might facilitate a meeting between myself and the Primogen of Clan Zamisi and accompany me on said meeting.
I will have to ask her. I'm sure it can be arranged.
He nods. I'd be very appreciative. I've been hoping to make her acquaintance for some time.
She might ask me this question. What is the nature of this, of you wanting to?
I've been interested to meet her, hear some of her opinions on such things.
On what things?
The city, the state of some affairs, and he looks around.
I will. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He just says, there's a couple of things I wish to talk to her about, but, it's not urgent, so...
She'll nod.
Meet me in her own time, but I would like you to accompany me, if you're available.
She'll nod. Of course, I will give the message to her.
Good. Thank you very much.
And then go, I believe. Welcome.
He smiles at her and he says, well, at least you and Madeline have one thing in common, and that is your joy of torturing me.
Please. It's not torture, just tease. She'll smile.
Well, my dearest Primogen, we might differ a bit. I take great pleasure in torturing Torvald.
Well, that may be the truth, but what we did before was simply teasing.
Oh, of course. But all of you, please, it has been a very good pleasure to speak with all of you once again, but I fear my work calls to me. Please, have a very good evening. Do. All of you.
Safe travels.
Thank you, and you as well. And Madeline begins to leave.
Kadir will wave to Madeline as she leaves. Said,
Female of the species, far more deadlier than the male counterpart. He smiles.
I cannot disagree. And she'll just smile.
Kadir says nothing to this statement. Lady said, Lady Margot, I was wondering.
Yes, speak your mind.
What exactly? How the best way I can put this? And then he kind of shakes his head. No, it's truly not that important. Do forgive me.
Well, if it comes back to you, or if you think it is important, can come to talk to me. With that, I will take my leave for tonight.
And he nods his head. So,
I believe that we all have business to attend to, but come and see me when you wish to conclude on our business a little more, Alkadir.
yes, I'll be there.
And with that, the kindred depart. Or Canaanites depart the scene.
Thank you very much, players, for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.